Today, I'm going through the steps of how to create a pie chart in Google Sheets. Right now, I am in Google Drive. I will click on New and click on Google Sheets to go to the spreadsheet to create the pie chart. When creating a pie chart, one of the first things you have to do is give the spreadsheet a name. I click up here where it says Untitled Spreadsheet, and I click one time, and it is highlighted. I press backspace on my keyboard, and I type the name of the spreadsheet. This is a practice, so I will put Spreadsheet Practice. Once I have finished entering the file name, I click Enter, press Enter. Okay. I am going to create a spreadsheet with some expenses and how much I spend on each expense and the total. Okay, so in A1 right here, I will type in expenses. In B1, I will type cost. Okay, expenses are things you spend money on a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly basis. Anything you spend money on is an expense. I will put expenses for my monthly use. So I will put rent, and rent is about $1,000 a month. Put the dollar sign so the spreadsheet knows that it's money that you're working with. Utilities, which includes gas, electric, water, we will put for about $200 a month. We spend money on transportation, which includes public transportation and Lyft, Uber, taxi. So we can say we spend about $150 a month. Okay. And the last one, remittance, which is the money we send back home to our families in our countries. Okay. So we can say about $200. All right. This is just an example. Now, to make things a little bit easier to read, I usually skip a line after my last expense. For example, here I will type total in A7. Okay. Now, to make the total, you do not need a pen, pencil, you do not need paper, you do not need a calculator. The spreadsheet will calculate all of that information for you automatically. So the first thing we do, we click where we want to put the total. If I wanted it in D2, I would click D2, but I want it in B7. So I click B7. Now I go to Sigma over here where it says functions. I click and then I click sum. Okay, sum means total. I'm going to add up all of the amounts, all of the expenses for the month. Okay, so I click on B2. I drag down to B5. I don't go to B6 because there is nothing in that cell. So you only select the numbers that you need for your total. So I'll show you one more time. I click on B2, I hold it, and I drag down to B5. Then I press enter. And there you have the total, $1,550. Okay. All right. Now we have to find out about how much the percentage that we spend on each expense. Okay, it will be visual for us. So to create a chart, the first thing you have to do is select your data, the information you put in. It's very important. You click and you select your information. But remember, do not select the total. If you select the total, your pie chart will look very, very funny. Okay, so you only need the information that you already put minus the total. Do not include the total. Okay, so I highlight again, I will show you. I click A1, I hold the click, and I drag across the columns and the rows that I need. Now, there are two places to click Insert Chart. Here, there's a little image of a chart. I can click here, or I can go to where it says Insert and find Chart and click Insert Chart. I prefer, oh no, I prefer to click the image on the toolbar. So I click Insert Chart, and usually you will have some recommendations. As you see here, recommendations. We are doing a pie chart. So this one that is selected is a bar graph, column graph. This is a column graph or a bar graph. The one under it also is a bar graph. But we would like a pie chart, the one that looks like a pie. So I click pie chart here, and then I click Insert. Okay. This border around the chart allows you to move it around. So I'm going to move it around. I'm going to move it to here. It's very important that your pie chart has a title. This says cost. But cost of what? Cost of what? We don't know. So we can click here, this little drop down arrow, and click Advanced Edit. This is where you can change everything. So the first thing we need to do is change the title. Genevieve's monthly expenses. This is for me. If it is yours, you would put your name and monthly expense. The legend is the key here on the side. It's to the right. I can move it to the left. I can move it to the top. I can move it to the bottom. And I can label like this. I prefer the left. Okay. You can change the font of the wording. You can do Comic Sans. You can do narrow. I prefer Comic Sans. I can change the color of the background. I can make it purple. I think I will stick to white. The slice. Each piece is a slice, like a slice of cake or a pizza slice. You can do percentage. You can do how much it was, or just the label. For a pie chart, it's best to do percentage. If you cannot see all of the numbers, you can make the font smaller. Since you can see the numbers, I will leave it at 12. And I can change the color of the numbers. Okay. The border, or the creases in between, I can make it yellow. It's very, very subtle, or red. I can make my pie chart three-dimensional. I can make it really big. When you maximize it, you cannot see the title. So it's best to stick with either flat, plain, or three-dimensional. And the series, you can change the color of each one. Rent is blue. I'm going to change it to red. Then I come back here. Utilities is orange. I can change utilities to blue. Okay. Once I've done all my changes and I'm satisfied, I click update. And there is my spreadsheet. Okay. So now you try on your own. Good luck.